My name is Gavin Evans, and this is my review of Kung Fu Panda 2. And this review will have spoilers, so there's your warning. But if you watched my review of Kung Fu Panda, you would know that I love that movie. It's not just one of the best DreamWorks animation movies, it's not just one of the best animated movies, but it is one of the best movies ever, period. I think it is that good. And even though this sequel isn't quite as good as the first movie, it's pretty damn close because this is a perfect sequel. It takes everything I love in the first movie and just evolves it so perfectly. So let's begin talking about the story. And Paul is on a journey of self discovery. And watching him come to terms with his past is just so powerful. That scene where he's in the village and he finds inner peace just hits so hard on an emotional level. And watching him use that same inner peace to defeat Shin, it's just so effective and it's so satisfying and it just hits every emotional beat that it needed to. And then we've got Lord Shin's storyline, who is evil. Like, this is a kid's movie, and we've got a villain here who committed genocide. Like, I like the fact that it's willing to go to those places. And he's just an evil warlord, pretty much. But I also love how he genuinely feels death. And even though he tries to just forget about his destiny, that he's doomed to be defeated by a panda, he is still afraid. And I just think he is a very well written, menacing character. Then we've also got the storyline of Paul and Tigress, and we don't really get much resolution between the two of them in the first movie, like only for a quick moment. But I love the fact that they're actually bonding here. I love the scene where Tigress tells Paul about what she had to do to no longer feel pain, and I love that scene where she won't let Paul go with them, and Paul keeps trying to leave. And out of nowhere, she gives him a hug, and she's like, "The hardcore do understand, but I can't watch my friend die." It hits me in the feels! There's so much weight to that moment, and the fact that at the end of the movie, when the cannon is pointed at Paul, she jumps in the way. She is willing to sacrifice herself for her friend. And I love the scene where Paul hugs her at the end, and it's just a very well done element of this movie. But then we've also got everything with Paul and his dad. And look, the fact that he's adopted by a goose could have just been a joke, and it kinda is, but there's also plenty of depth. In just 3 scenes, there is so much substance here, and watching Paul find out where he came from, and then at the end of the movie, he comes home and he hugs his dad and he tells him, "I know who I am. I'm your son." It's beautiful stuff. It really is. So just everything going on character-wise and plot-wise and thematically just completely works for me. I think this movie has plenty of depth, plenty of emotion, and it's why it's as good as it is. But then, in typical DreamWorks animation fashion, we have to talk about the music by John Powell and Hans Zimmer because this score is outstanding. I could talk about every piece of music, but I'll just talk about a few. Save Kung Fu, amazing. It just builds excitement, it builds anticipation, and it has emotion behind it. More Canyons is such an exciting, thrilling piece of music, and I love it. Firework Factory is really great, but I love that one moment where it goes like a do 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 do. That moment in this piece is just fantastic. Uh, the last act of the movie though has the best music. Paul Finds the Truth is such a powerful piece. Zinbar Master is both exciting and thrilling, but also emotional. I love the scene in the movie where Shifu comes and all of a sudden the Furies 5, Paul, the Croc and Ox and Shifu are fighting together, and the way the music picks up there as Paul looks around and is just like, I love you guys. It's just perfect. But my favorite piece is My Fist Hungers for Justice. Like I said, I love that last scene between Paul and his dad, and the way the camera pans out as the music picks up and it's going through the mountains to this panda village. It just feels epic. It just feels beautiful, and I love the music here so much. It just adds emotion and excitement whenever needed, and it just sounds incredible. And speaking of the action, it's amazing. Like, no joke, these first two Kung Fu Panda movies have some of the best action ever. I love how they lean into the cartoonish side, and it's really well choreographed and just really well captured. I love some of the techniques the Furies 5 use, like when Paul's on that single wheel and Tigress just pushes him, or when Viper wraps herself around the henchman and uses him to fight, or when at the end the boats are about to leave and Crane loses his wings to blow the sails. There's just so much great attention to detail, but my favorite moment is the scene when the tower is falling and they're all running to the top to jump over the wall. Just phenomenal stuff. It really is. I also do think this movie can be quite funny. I do like the joke at the end where Paul is yelling to Shen, but he can't hear him. Shazam tried to do the same joke, but it just works better in this movie. I like the parade float chase. It kind of reminds me of Pac-Man, and I think it's a very funny moment. But my favorite joke of the movie is one line at the end. Well, Shifu is just like, you have found inner peace. And at such a young age. Love it. The animation looks great, very colorful, very well captured, and very stylistic at times. I love the look of the flashbacks. Just very impressive work. And the voice cast is doing exceptional work. Jack Black nails the comedic beats of his character, but he also brings the depths when needed. And he just fully understands this character and just captures everything. Angelina Jolie has a lot more to do here, and I think she just delivers. She's so good. Gary Oldman is great as Shen. Like, his voice just brings so much menace to this character, and I really like when he's panicking and yelling. It just has that urgency to him. And yes, Dustin Hoffman, not in this movie as much, but still stands out when he is. David Cross, Jackie Chan, Lucy Liu, and Seth Rogen all do a very good job. They just don't actually speak as much as you think they would. Michelle Yeoh, I think, is a fantastic addition. I loved her character, and I love the conversations between her and Shen. James Hong, I think, really delivers. Danny McBride is actually very good here as, like, the leading wolf. And then you've got Jean-Claude Van Damme and Dennis Haysbert in minor roles, but they do a perfectly fine job. So the cast is a standout element. So, look, there's one more thing I have to mention. And it's the fact that I've said this movie is exciting, it is funny, it is emotional, and it is a powerful movie. the characters have depth, the story is thematically rich, and it does all of this in 80 minutes. In 80 minutes, this movie does more than most movies can do in 2 or 3 hours. It is just a very efficient, tight, perfectly paced movie, and simply put, this is one of the best sequels ever. But it's also not my favorite DreamWorks sequel. I'll be talking about that in a few weeks, but I'll still give Kung Fu Panda 2 a 9 out of 10. Okay, have you seen Kung Fu Panda 2? What did you think? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for more videos soon. And Gavin,